Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Completed It. I am your host, Andy Burrows, and as you can see, I'm flying solo today because my co-hosts at 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning are probably all still in bed. The lazy bastards. Yes, we're recording this on a Sunday. Very pleased to say that our guest today is someone that I met about a month and a half ago now at Comic Con in Watford. Renowned artist, as you can see from behind him, Mr. Sam Rogers himself. Sam, how are you, sir?
I'm all good. Yourself?
I am good, mate. I am good. Up bright and early
Yes.
on a Sunday morning to chat all things art and comics and etc. with you.
Wow.
Sam, I was very fortunate enough to meet you at Watford Comic Con just over a month and a half ago now.
Yeah.
Got to chat to you, got to look at some of your art that we can see there behind you. I've always been, I'm a massive comic book collector. I collect comic books. I'm like, still at the age of 45. Still
Yeah.
collecting comic books, drives my wife mad when the postman turns up. It's probably one, probably a comic book for me. How do you even get into art? Because everyone I chat to about comic books, they're like, man, one thing you either want to do two things in life. I feel you either want to be a musician and play a guitar, or you
Yeah.
want to be a really good artist. You just want to sit there and draw Spider-Man, Superman,
Oh,
Batman,
yeah.
etc. How do you even get into doing something like that, Sam? I know obviously from reading your bio, it's something that you just love doing as a youngster. I love drawing Batman and Spider-Man, but there's got to be a starting point where you couldn't do what we can see behind you, which is absolutely incredible. How
Oh,
on
yeah.
earth do you get to be so good at what you do, Sam? Where did it all start for you, mate?
Well, thanks for the compliment on that. But yeah, no, as a kid, it was weird. Like, I just constantly loved drawing. I would sketch on the old covers of like Argos because they'd have toys on them. So I was like
Hmm.
3 or 4 and I was drawing them. And I kind of grew up watching like RoboCop and Terminator. I didn't grow up on Disney per
Hmm.
se. So I was like already like had this kind of actiony mentality. But it was honestly, I can remember it, and I've got like 5 different versions, and one of them signed now. I remember seeing Ultimate Spider-Man issue 1 in a
Wow.
comic shop. It was a
Hmm.
Panini print, and it's Mark Bagley's artwork, and it blew my mind. It still blows my mind now. Like anytime I open it up, I'm like, it was just one of those things where I was like, oh, I can draw little things. Now I want to draw like this.
Mm.
And then from there, I remember I did a Spider-Man piece, and I took it to school, and this kid, he bullied me. He was like, "You didn't draw this. You didn't draw this. Like, this is too good. You didn't draw this." And I was like, in my head at the time, I was like, I did draw this. You know what I mean? I was like really
Mm.
upset about it. But then I was like, that's a compliment. The fact that you know what I mean?
Thought you traced it
Thought,
or something, yeah.
yeah. Thought like, oh, you didn't draw this. And then from there, it was just like one of those things where it's any little positive reinforcement just keeps you going when someone says, oh, this is really good. Oh, can you draw me this? It's like, oh, I can do this. Like,
Mm.
this is something I'm good at. And I did want to do like guitar, but like I tried it for a week and I'm like, nah, I can't.
Oh,
I need
mate.
to
Mine's
use a
sitting over there
ukulele.
collecting dust.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. I had one of those like terrible little wooden ones, and it sounded terrible. I'm like, I'm just gonna stick to the art. It's fine. I'll stick to the art.
Mm.
So yeah, that was the good like starting off point. Really was discovering my first comic book, and then wanting to kind of do that kind of story of Spider-Man. And he's like, again, Spider-Man. You look at him, he's so like angelic. I don't think that's a word. He's flying around the comic in
Hmm.
positions that no one can be doing, up in the air and everything. It just blew my mind. It still does, when I see it in a film or something, I'm like, that's just beautiful. Like I want to draw it, and I'm still drawing it. you know?
Yeah. I mean, what's the key to being a good artist, Sam? Because, like you say, you just started doing it. I mean, that you see this about like footballers, and oh, you've got a
Yeah.
natural talent, you've got a gift. I couldn't pick up this pen now and start drawing Spider-Man; it would be
Yeah.
atrocious. Is
Yeah.
it something though that you can teach and people can
Yes.
learn, or is it something like you say, you just picked it and you just started? Like from the how if I wanted to say to Sam this time next week I want to draw on a Spider-Man, you'd be like, right, Andy, this is how you do it. Is it something that you can teach?
Absolutely. I at the moment for the last year and a half, I've been drawing on Whatnot. That's kind of helped push me out there in the hemisphere, and I've been doing kind of art classes in a sense, but I'm just drawing sketch cards and covers. And I keep saying to people, I keep threatening, I'm going to do art classes soon this year and teach you how to go from literally a stickman. Because anytime you ask someone that doesn't draw, oh, I'm going to teach you to draw this, they're like, oh, I can only draw a stickman. I'm like, well, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's the beginning thing. You know what I mean? Like,
That would be my comic book, Stickman. That'd be easy. Done.
Honestly, if there is not a comic out there that is titled Stickman, I'm gonna
Me
have
and
to
you have
steal
just
that from
created
you.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. You write it, I draw it.
done.
Millions of quid. Yeah,
But is
but
it
yeah,
something that you can teach, like generally, like because obviously,
absolutely.
like I
Yeah,
said there, it's like you said you just started tracing the Argos catalogs and something like that. But if someone could
yeah,
say to you, "Hey Sam, in a week I want to learn how to do this," what are the teaching aspects behind becoming a good artist? Because I think everyone, like I said at the start, would love to be a musician, or
yeah,
I'd love to sit here and go, right, I'm drawing all the Avengers today. Like, you're doing
yeah,
what? Just sitting here
yeah,
doodling, you know?
yeah. Well, no, I think that is it as well. I think a lot of people might get into their head about overthinking it, but it is very simple. Like I've been drawing since I was a kid, but professionally, I'd say 15 years. I still use references. I have like action figures from like when I was a kid. You can just pose them up. It is all just really examining a shape. There is
Hmm.
three shapes that go into a character. You got a circle, a square, and basically like a rectangle. If you know those shapes, you can draw a character. You can draw a hand coming out like that. Also, just using photo references is very easy. Like I overthought it. I thought you have to have it all in your brain.
Hmm.
You can't look at any book. You have to just sit down and create, I don't know, an epic battle between characters in your brain. I can do that, but it's so much easier when you've just got references. So I generally do think it is very easy. Um, and again, just starting from scratch, like you say, just doing a sketch of something. I've seen people do sketches that don't draw, and I'm like, that's really good, and they've just copied it from a picture,
Mm.
but they're like, well, I
My
could
daughter
plus.
can do that. She's
Yeah,
and I mean really good as well. Drew one of the best Optimus Primes I've seen in ages. And I was like, when did you do that? She said about 20 minutes ago. It took me like half an hour. And I'm what?
there you
And
go.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, just randomly looked at a picture, and I'm like, I hate people that can do that. I'd love to do that. just randomly looking at a picture. Yeah, I just drew that. I'm like, man,
yeah,
God, I'm here with my stickman pop, but like 10 stickmen in a row, this sort of thing. But Sam, I know you've got your website ad there. We can take a look at
yeah,
some of your great work that you've done. I know you're going to share
yeah.
with the people watching this, and we can talk along as we do it. I know you're into your superheroes, etc., etc., and it's really, really so good that,
Yeah,
what you
well,
do.
thank you, thank you. Are you seeing that all right? Is
I
that?
can't see it yet.
Oh, wait, I think that's apologies on my.
That's all right. There we go.
There we go.
Wow, look at
Right.
that. Look at that. So there you go for everyone watching. This is like I say, go to samrogersart.com and you can check out all of Sam's work. I bought some when I was at Comic Con. Just talk us through some of these pieces, Sam. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
now this is what we're calling art here, mate. Now this is years of you having to practice to nail this down, mate. This is some serious comic book art here.
Well, this right now, what I'm showing you, this Batman piece is one of my latest ones. This took 85 hours to do.
Holy.
Yeah. And this is all done on Procreate. I'm such a dinosaur that I didn't
Hmm.
start coloring digitally until almost 2 years ago. I
Wow.
was drawn traditionally, and I met with Marvel about 3 years ago at MCM, and they were doing like a portfolio thing. So again, I love drawing the big epic superheroes, and then I love drawing the pinups, as you can see. So yeah, I'm gonna have to skip some things. I don't think you can show some things
Nah,
on the
you're
track.
good, mate. Oh God, we do all sorts on this show. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, this is everything that you're seeing now is being done in the last year and a half on Procreate. This is like the level of stuff that I've wanted to reach, the goal of what I wanted, which is to get something like this on a cover. You know,
Yeah.
like this is a big seller. People love this one. Very fun. Like around here, he's got little hat shaped underwear, like tons of little Easter eggs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd met through MCM Comic Con. We're doing a portfolio review, and if you can see here, I mean, I'm talking about this now, so you can see like the angles on the characters and like
Hmm.
placements, and like I say with Spider-Man. Oh, let me show you that. Like just his angle and everything. So when I
Wow, that's
show,
amazing.
Yeah, again,
Are
everything
things
is
like that harder to draw than what I someone like a novice like me would quote unquote a normal drawing? Is there anything you do different when you're doing
yes,
that kind of art?
absolutely. This stuff like this, especially this, takes so much time because of the angle. You have to figure out the angle by doing grid lines, which is very much you put a ruler on paper and just do lines going across,
Right.
across, across, and then you do like a center point and it comes down and down and down. But with that is another thing that I'd hopefully this year when I start teaching, either through Whatnot or in person, would be like the biggest thing that I teach people how to deal with. Because I think that's more difficult than drawing the actual character.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, is the backgrounds. I get that a lot. And then, it is like say with this one here, it's trying to make the background not look so flat.
Gotcha.
So when I met with Marvel, one of the criticisms, well, not criticisms, one of the tips that they said to improve on, points of improvement was the background being flat
Right.
and making it come out, and also hands and angles. So like every piece I draw now, I try not to hide like the hands. Like I try to keep them in view.
I'm
Same
with
with the
you.
feet. Um, and then if I shoot down to the bottom, I'll show you what all of this stuff is from 2016 to 2020. This is all drawn and colored by hand.
Wow.
Yeah, this one is probably the most difficult one that I did
Oh,
just because of the
the shading
text.
work on that as well.
Yeah, that again, that's a lot of highlighting pens, which are a lifesaver. I know a lot of people use them, but I think they just make everything
Your
pop.
local art store must love it when they see you coming in.
Oh, they do. Honestly, I did it the other week. I had to do a massive order, and they were like
He's
smiling.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
That's someone's Christmas presents all bought for.
Yeah, thank God Sam's still about.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
it's incredible.
there you go. This one, yeah, as well. It's
Oh, wow.
traditional, so you can kind of see the difference between the digital. I still
Yeah,
love,
100%.
yeah, colored traditionally. I still love it, but it also takes less time. I think coloring on Procreate takes about 60 to 80 hours.
Wow.
And then I'll show you some of my comic book work as well, because this is something I started during lockdown. It's something I still want to get out.
Okay.
It's a idea that just came to me.
Oh,
Basically,
you're
think of,
doing your own novel, aren't you?
yeah. It's about a character that is basically he's there at the bottom shooting across. It's you start off, he's living on the moon. It's a little bit in the future, and the Earth is just torn in two. Like that's you kind of your sci-fi premise. I love sci-fi, but then it
Hmm.
quickly turns into a western. But you've got your robots. There's a lot of action in it as well. But it's something I'm still working on. I've had to put it on the back burner, but I would love to get like a self-made book, and this is like a lot of the character designs for it and everything, a lot of the shipware. But
Wow,
yeah,
that's
this is all on the
incredible.
website. And then I'll also show off what I do on Whatnot as well. So I do this on Whatnot 3 times a week. So these are the covers that I'll draw on, the blank covers, as you probably know what they are. You collect
Hmm.
comics. So most of these are commissions that I've done for people on blank covers, which again has now put me into the career path of doing it for Dynamic Forces, who are putting out sketch covers,
Mm.
blind comics. So I think you get comics in them, and then one of them you might get a rare sketch cover.
Yeah.
So I've just done 8 for a TV show called Silverhawks.
Cool.
Yeah, and 2 for Thundercats, which was really fun.
It's my
Yeah,
favorite cartoon growing up.
yeah. No, it was really. I'll have to send over the pictures. I can't show
Oh,
them yet.
no, that's all right. When they're available to buy, you text me. I'll
Absolutely, yeah.
100% be getting them, my friend. Anything Thundercats, I'm all over that. But wow, look at that. That is incredible, man.
Yeah, and these are all the sketch cards. So every month we'll do a themed one. So
Hmm.
um, September was Batman, and then October was horror.
Wow. That is incredible, mate.
November, yeah. So these are all, like I say, I'm there 3 times a week on Whatnot, 8 o'clock, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. So if anyone wanted some original art, I'm not gonna make you bankrupt either. It is on there, and hopefully as well, I'll be doing some classes there. But yeah, there's tons on here. I won't go through everything, but
No, that's incredible, man. Thanks so much for sharing. That's honestly, it's
that's
absolutely
right.
incredible to see. You mentioned there as well, Sam, that you obviously like with Marvel and stuff. And is that the is that a goal? Have you, like you say, you spoke to Marvel and they've given you advice? With things like, say, like sport, you get scouted, you get spotted. Is that the same for art? Do like Marvel and DC and etc. etc. Keep an eye on artists that they don't use currently, and you're hoping one day that you might get an email or a phone call, go, "Hey Sam, we want you to come in and let's have a chat."
Well, this is perfect. I kind of hope this is like the most replayed bit on your podcast, because this is all I get asked is like, how do I get from here, drawing like I am now in a little office,
Hmm.
to being found by one of these big name companies? And it really, there is ways to go about it, but I've kind of like had to go out and try and push my stuff out there. You know what I mean? It's
That's, oh mate, I get that. We're doing that with this show.
yeah,
One best bit of advice I got was never stop publicizing yourself.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. I think when I got social media, Instagram in 2016, so like 10 years ago, and I don't want to share this. People are going to judge the art. I'm kind of scared, but no, put everything out there as much as you can. So yeah, that would be my number one tip, is just put stuff out there, because now I've been scouted by a comic. I was found by the head of Dynamite Comics
Wow.
because of a commission I did for someone, and they shared it on Instagram. And it wasn't specifically a great commission.
Mm.
It was a Weapon X on a Power Rangers cover, and I remember the cover. The paper was terrible, so I had to really try my best with it. But yeah, when I spoke to this person at Dynamic Forces, he was like, "Yeah, the head of Dynamite found you and kept you in a list."
Wow.
So that is probably the biggest thing I can say, is just keep putting it out there. Keep trying to get people to share your stuff as well. You know what I mean? Even if it's a friend, it just goes out there, and get a good portfolio. Like, just
Mm.
even if you kind of like, I built a portfolio, and I take it to cons, and I've been doing it for years. And it might not necessarily be what I hope it is, but it has been picked a few times. And again, because of that, I got to speak with Marvel, and they said to me, I said to him, right, I want to do covers.
Hmm.
I didn't want to do interiors at that point. I still don't. I just love covers.
Hmm.
And he said to me, if you want to get into doing covers, you need to get a following. And the way you get a following is by doing sketch cards or sketch covers. That's the easiest way. And then from there, like the last year and a half, it has just been popping off. Like, people are like going nuts over, my sketch cards and all this. And I'm like, well, this is, it's very strange, but it's great. And it goes from there. So again, it is a combination of those three. Keep putting yourself out there. Stream drawing your artwork. Put it on TikTok. I hate TikTok and all that kind of stuff, but
Dude, yeah.
it helps at the end of the day. For some reason, it does help. So, just keep putting it out there. And yeah, when you go to a con, if you meet an artist, I met, is it Sean Murphy? I think it is Sean Murphy. He was great. I showed him my stuff, and he was just really helpful and really cool. He was like,
Mm.
to see, you do,
Chatting to fellow artists is the guy
yeah,
that done Sonic was at the one I met you at in Watford.
yes,
Mm.
yeah, exactly. Again, simple thing like that. Just going to even speaking to like someone like me. I've had people come up at a convention and say like, "Oh, how can I do stuff like this? How can I even sell prints?"
Mm.
And I think people, I mean, because I used to overthink it a lot before I started selling my artwork. I'm like, no one's going to want to buy this. No,
Oh,
like, people are a fan of
they will.
everything.
Trust me, I did. They will.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. So yeah, no, that genuinely, that is the key. I would say, use what you have, what everyone has, which is social media. Just put it out
Hmm.
there.
Yeah.
Create a little art page. My niece at the moment, she's trying to get into tattooing, and I just said to her, do a page and put little designs on there. You'll get a bit of a
Mm.
following. And secondly, you go into these studios and you show them a portfolio. It's the same thing for
Yeah,
a
I've
comic
got a
book
friend who's a
industry.
tattooist in Leighton Buzzard where I live, and yeah, they literally just started off by doodling, and then I want to be a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
Now got our own shop in Leighton Buzzard.
Really?
Yeah, it was just
What's the name
purely.
of the shop?
So I'll send it to you. I've got it on my
Yeah.
phone. They're based in Leighton Buzzard. But yeah, she was just like, hey, I want to become a tattoo artist and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean that's what it's all about. People say the same to us. They're like, oh, Andy, I've started a podcast, but no one's really watching. I'm like, well, you need to. These things take time, and you've got to use
Yes.
social media. And I've been podcasting since 2020, whether that's through my sport and now completed it is a year old this Tuesday coming. So
Yeah,
we've been doing this.
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, my friend. And it's hard work. It is because you're
Yeah.
constantly on your phone. You're constantly tweeting, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm YouTube. I'm on it. I'm lucky. I've got a job where I'm out and about on the road all day. So when I'm stopped or anything, I can jump on my phone and I
Yeah.
can publicize and I can, I go to Comic Cons and I've got cards printed out with our QR code on it. And they're like, you just
Yeah.
run a little old podcast. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to be delivering beer for the rest of my life. And
Exactly.
if you want something like yourself with your art, in a year and a half's time, we could say, oh, Sam Rogers was on our show. Yeah, he's just done a Spider-Man Marvel cover. And we'll
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
and that'll be great. And I hope that is true. And I think with you, it definitely will be because
Yeah.
you've got to look
Yeah.
at what you do, my friend. Sam, one of the questions I want to ask: what's
Yep.
the biggest changes in art you've seen? Like you say, you go back from the earlier days of just drawing on a bit of paper to the way it's all done now on computer. Has technology been good for art? Has it hindered art in any way? What's the biggest changes that you've noticed?
Oh, there has been a big change from what I loved in the 90s, which I'm sure you as a comic book fan, like Todd McFarlane's covers,
Hmm.
the Spider-Man covers. It's
Hmm.
very two-tone colors, but it pops. It's really rich. But now it's kind of hard to get away with something like that in art and it look kind of professional for some reason. So what I try to do now is I try to keep that color and make it pop, but without using like a lot of grays. But it's digital. Digital is the thing. Tons and tons of detail. You can pick up a cover now, and it's say like Adi Granoff has done the artwork on it, and it is beautiful. It is literally a piece of art that you'd see in a
Hmm.
museum. You know what I mean? It blows my mind. But the stuff that I loved as a kid, I look back at it and I'm like, it's still amazing, but it's very simplistic to what
Mm.
you've got now. I think if I was to do like the cover of, say, Jim Lee's X-Men #1, I think that would take me, about a day. You know what I mean? But if I was to
Take me
do,
about a year.
well, I can help you with that.
Thank you very much. I start these lessons and quick.
I will. I will. But yeah, no, I do think, but I also think it's really great as well because it's really bringing the art to like a whole new level for
Hmm.
people. And it's made me kind of surpass what I wanted to get as a goal. My goal was to do artwork that looked like J. Scott Campbell cover or a Todd McFarlane cover, but now I just keep adding more and more detail in it because people have already surpassed that. There's new artists coming out that I know who are just like shaking it up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's great. It's great. And also, there's a real love still for comics. I think the biggest talking point would be AI. You know?
Yeah, that's a big talk, especially amongst we've been fortunate enough. We spoke to a few actors, and we'd done the Toy Story episode last week, and we were talking about it on there, and they were talking about the worry of AI actors taking over from actual physical actors. Is that
Yeah.
something that you think could creep into art? Could someone like me download a package on a computer in say 8 months, type in Spider-Man art, click a few buttons, and boom, I've done it. And for me, I don't like that. I mean,
No.
the way I and all the like the actors and actresses. We were chatting to John on Friday last week about the Toy Story stuff, and he was mentioning that he does a lot of he teaches kids voice acting now. See, the only
Yeah.
problem, the only worry he's got is AI. Is that
Yeah.
the same for you with art?
You know, it was when people were talking about it. It generally was because people were like, "Oh, you're going to be out of a job. There's comics are going to die." But I think the people that don't really care will just type, like you say, type in summon and get a Spider-Man piece and print it off and put
Hmm.
it on merchandise. But I think what people love two things about the art. It's the art itself, but also knowing the time and the effort that's been put into it. So people can go like, wow, look at this. This was created, you know what I mean? Because people are still fans of hard work, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like a podcast, you know what I mean? You put so much time and effort into it.
Oh,
People
yes.
enjoy watching it and listening to it and then going, this is a great podcast, you know what I mean? And it just shoots off from there. But I've seen it before. Like the one time that it really got me, there was a competition to do covers for a very notable character. I'm not going to dox it, but
No, yeah, of course.
they were going to choose from 8 artists. And I worked for like a full month trying to get these ink works done. And they were good. I look at it now and I'm like, I could have done better. You know what I mean? Hindsight's 2020. But they chose one of the artists that won it was an AI artist. Yeah. And it put a lot of bad rep on them. And this was like the beginning of this whole talk about AI. And then from that, though, they kind of pulled it back. I think they didn't print that. I've seen DC Comics, Jim Lee has come out and said, like, AI, we're never going to have that. You know what I mean? Yeah. These comic companies know that they've got a loyal fan base who don't just love it for the characters, they love it for the writers, the artists. You know what I mean? Again, all that effort put into it, they can see it. It comes through. So as long as the people still want to see good art done by real people, I'm happy. And I get that from streaming. I see people come in and go like, this is amazing. I need that. I like you when you came by and bought the print, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were like, I want this because it's a rare piece done by, there's value in that, you know? You can't get that graded and say, oh, this is worth millions because AI made it. That's stupid.
No, 100%. Sam, what does the future hold for you, my friend? What, like you said, you've got some goals. You're maybe going to go into teaching. Please do, because I may need some
absolutely.
help. But yeah, what's the immediate goals? What's the long distance goals? I mean, do you set major goals as an artist, or is it just a case of, hey, look, I'm getting my work out there. I'm like I said, I met you at Watford Comic Con, but then you've got some of the big London Comic Cons coming up, Collectomanias and things like that in Milton Keynes, etc. So, what does 2026 look for you, like my friend?
I want to do more cons. I've got a few hopefully lined up, like Liverpool and stuff like that. But the goal has always been to walk into a comic book shop and see my artwork on a Spider-Man cover.
Yeah,
that I can get hit by a bus the next day. Hopefully not, but I'd be like, oh, that's the goal. That's life complete. You know what I mean? All the long hours have been.
Let me buy that comic before you get hit by the bus, because it'll be worth a bloody fortune.
Sign it. Boom. But yeah, that would be the goal. I kind of set it in 2022. I said within 5 years I want to be on a cover, and I don't think that's a lot to ask, in all honesty. You know what I mean?
I think you will be, man.
Yeah. So, thank you. So yeah, I got about 2 years because I said it at the end of 22. So hopefully this year. But with what I'm doing again through Dynamic Forces, again, I spoke to someone who has worked for Marvel. His brother actually co-created Deadpool, I was like, this is insane. So like, I'd love, like I say, that'd be the goal. And I think through what I'm doing now, hopefully that's the right way. Again, one of those kind of, I guess if the universe is trying to give you some kind of answer, is I quit my job to kind of focus on what I'm doing now. And the day I did was when I got this offer through saying, oh, we want to speak to you about doing this. And I was like, okay.
Fair play for taking that step as well. I mean, a lot of people always say to me, they're like, man, you need to do this full time. I'm like, I'd love to. It would be awesome to sit here and chat to guests and do shows. It is the biggest risk you'll ever probably take in your life, because people are dependent on you. You know what I mean? You've got it's the reality of life. You've got bills, you've got a family, etc., etc. So it's a risk, and fair play. I'm glad it's paid off for you. I really, really am. I've toyed with it many times. No. It's just how you monetize something like a podcast, or you have to make sure your art's getting out there. And you have to, as much as you love doing things, in the back of your mind, while you're at this stage, you're always thinking, right, I need to make sure my mortgage is paid, my gas, my electric. It's simple things like that that go through your mind. I'd love to wake up on a Monday and go, oh, well, I've got 3 interviews today. I've got that on a Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. in the reality, I go to work 7 in the morning till 5 o'clock at night, and then I plan my podcast all in the evening, or etc.
Yeah.
etc. So yeah, we've all got. My goal is to this time next year be sitting here doing this full time, and
You will.
I make no bones about it. You know, and the same with you and your art. You know,
Yeah.
you've set a goal out. You want to be on a cover of a Spider-Man. You want to be etc. etc. Working for Marvel, and looking at what you do, I can't see how you won't achieve that. It's
Well, thank
physically impossible, my friend. So I wish you all the luck in the world. Just one last question, Sam. What bit of advice would you give to anyone that wants to get into art? We said it at the start of the show, musician or artist. I think you know, you've got to be really music takes a long time. I know a good
Yeah.
friend of mine's a bass player in a band. He said it's hard. Art is
Yeah.
hard as well. Obviously, you mentioned that you might start up teaching later this year. What advice would you give to anyone that just wants to pick up a old school, pick up a pencil and a bit of paper and start drawing? How would they? What would you say to them?
I would say take criticism. I think that's a good thing. I didn't when I was younger. I was like, no, I'm good, I'm good. But take criticism because it really does help. Like
It
when it
does.
was came to me doing this, trying to do this professionally, I was like, no, you have to take criticism in anything you do to improve it, and it does help. Also, try new things. If don't ever draw the same character in the same
Hmm.
position. Try a new angle, even if it falls apart. You'll figure it out later on. You know what I mean? I've thrown away so many pieces of artwork because I've done it, and I'm like, it's the same as the last one.
Yeah,
You got to keep it going. You know what I mean? Um, Draw every day, even if it's a little sketch as well. Like I don't think I've not doodled at least once a day in the last 15 years, and it just keeps that creative flow going as well. Also enjoy it. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, otherwise you're going to get burnt out quickly. It's the same with artists, with musicians, and anyone. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
really have to enjoy it and love creating. I think the thing that I think most artists love is having that blank canvas and then
yeah.
just creating a whole story on it or something. And that's another thing as well for people, especially if they're looking to get into covers. Give it a story. You can
Mm,
do the pinups. I love doing pinups, but if you're going to do characters fighting or like an action scene, try and fill it with as much story as possible because that's what
that's
these
what.
comic publishers want to
Yeah,
see.
you want to capture the
That's
audience, don't you?
yeah. I didn't know that going in, and I kind of just did the heroic stance. But if you look at my pieces now, I try to fill it with little Easter eggs. You know what I mean? So someone could look at that and go like, "Oh, Batman's about to kick Two Face in the face, and he's coming because they're doing some kind of deal. There's money on the table. Simple things.
Yeah, no, most
Yeah.
definitely. Sam, I wish you all the luck in the world, my friend.
Thank you.
Just tell our people watching this where they can find you, where they can check out your socials. I know you're on, obviously, on Instagram. You've got your
Yeah,
website,
yeah,
etc.,
yeah.
etc.
So everything is Sam Rogers Art. So again, the main thing, if you want to watch me draw, if you want to get any tips, Sam Rogers Art on Whatnot. Like I say, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, 8 p.m. And yeah, my website, www.samrogersart.com. Instagram, Sam Rogers Art. Yeah, I think that's where I am.
Awesome stuff, my friend. Well, I know me and you are going to chat about a few things to do with completed it after. So stick around
Absolutely.
to see what we can do together. Loved meeting you and your good lady. Was it at Watford Comic Con?
Yes, yes.
Really good to meet you guys. Honestly, I've got my artwork that you gave me. Really did like me. Loved sitting down to chat to you, my friend. I know Sash, who also co-hosts this with me. He's massively into his art, so I know
Oh,
he
great.
so lazy he would have got out of bed and done this morning.
Yeah.
But he absolutely loves his art, so I know he's going to really love this episode. But I'll definitely catch up with you at another Comic Con this year.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
when you start teaching, you might see me down there.
Yeah,
I think
I
that'll be
bet.
that'll be a cool
Big
thing to
artist,
learn.
are you?
But anyone who wants to check out this show that hasn't before, maybe go head on over to YouTube, type in Completed It Podcast is where you can find us. That logo right behind me there will be on the screen. You can find us on Twitter, X, whatever you're calling it these days, at Completed It Pod. Instagram is Completed It Podcast, and Facebook, just type in Completed It Podcast is where you can find me, Sash, and Neil most days. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Big thanks to you, Sam. Wish you all the luck in the world, my friend. Keep doing what you're doing. We'll be back later in the week with more Completed It. But till then, everybody, stay safe.